If a referral is right for you or your loved one. Georgia MemoryNet. Clarity, care, community.
Celebrating 30 years with Richard Rogers. Happy 30th anniversary, Richard. This month is YesFember.
Baby.com. Click, click.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
Live from Augusta. You're watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Tonight, an I-Team exclusive body cam video showing a Richmond County deputy hitting another deputy with a flashlight while they're on the scene of a shooting. For the first time, one of them is speaking out. But first, it is the week of Thanksgiving, and thousands are heading out of town or coming here to see the family for the holiday.
But rain and some other possibly severe weather could get in the way this week. Let's send things over to First Alert meteorologist Mikkel Hannah-Harding.
Well, yes, that's right, guys. We are tracking the potential for some severe weather again getting into tomorrow. Taking a look at some forecasts.
Tonight, an I-Team exclusive. For the first time, we can show you the body cam video when a Richmond County deputy strikes another deputy on the back of the head with his flashlight. It happened when both were responding to a call. A 17-year-old is on the ground there, dying from gunshot wounds. And also, for the first time, the deputy hit is speaking out, talking only to our I-Team. This February will mark 4 years since that night.
And to put it in perspective, this happened more than a month before Augusta had its very first case of COVID. A grand jury indicted Deputy Brandon Keithley, and he was arrested on charges of aggravated assault and aggravated assault on a peace officer. But even after all this time, his case has not been to court. And as our Meredith Anderson has uncovered, the delays come at a high cost.
In more ways than one. Let's start with the obvious one, money. Brandon Keithley has been on paid administrative leave all this time. So for all this time, you've been paying him not to come to work. But the cost is also transparency. Because this hasn't been to trial, this video is not in the public record yet. I only have it because a source gave it to me. That's because for months, I've been investigating how the Richmond County Sheriff's Office investigates itself. And this could be yet another example, raising questions about who's policing the police.
Hey, let's get him out of the car. Get his clothes up.
February 7th, 2020. D'Angelo Burns has been shot. His girlfriend brought him to the Circle K on Peach Orchard Road. That's Deputy Brandon Keithley with a flashlight. He's a field training officer, instructing a trainee to gently lay Burns on the ground.
Get his clothes up.
Deputies know he's been shot, but they need to find exactly where the bullet hit.
Where's the bullet at?
They're still searching for it when Deputy Nick Nunes arrives on scene.
Talk to me. What do we got? We don't know. We're still trying to find where he's bleeding from. Right here.
This video is hard to watch, even after we blurred out the graphic images. This young man lost his life that night. But what happens next? That's difficult too.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. Hey, look at me. No, step back. I'm working on it, dude. Get the away. Hey, don't push me when I'm working. Get his clothes off. Did you just see me with the flashlight, dude?
He did. Listen again, and you'll hear it.
Get his clothes off.
Here's another look from another angle as another deputy races to the scene. He runs toward the group of deputies working on Burns, and it happens here.
Did you just see me with the flashlight, dude?
Not long after, Sheriff Richard Roundtree held this news conference.
This was embarrassing not just to the deputies, but to the aides.
He suspended Deputy Brandon Keithley for 30 days, but also gave Deputy Nunes a written reprimand.
He added insult to injury when he handed me that.
Nick Nunes resigned, and not long after, left the area.
First of all, I'm sorry it has to be this way. I would have much rather sat down face to face.
So I'm currently in Phoenix, Arizona, so I'm quite a bit of ways from you.
It's also been quite a bit of time since I first asked him for an interview.
This wasn't because you didn't want to talk about it. It's because you felt like you couldn't.
I was advised that I couldn't. I was told from senior leadership at the sheriff's office at the time that I was to refrain from speaking to you unless I wanted to become jobless. So my career was dangled in front of me. And so in order to pay my mortgage, pay my bills, and have a sustainable way of life, I was told I could not speak to you.
Nick Nunes now works in the private sector, so for the first time, he feels like he's able to speak out. He doesn't have a copy of these videos, so we took him back to that night.
Talk to me. What do we got?
That's me putting on medical gloves.
By playing them for him and letting him explain what we're seeing and what's happening.
We need to establish an airway as soon as possible to make sure that the body can maintain consciousness and we can start to stabilize the gunshot wound victim.
You're trying to establish the airway, or he's trying to establish the airway?
So if you see right there, Keithley's hand is the hand that's ungloved. So I can quickly see that, and I can quickly tell that he has no efforts, or he's going to give no effort into handling the body.
Nunes is a former Marine who, even as a deputy, carried his own medical supplies. The I-Team spoke with a mother back in 2020 who says Nunes responded when her nephew was shot in the stomach and her son was shot in the leg.
Within 45 seconds, they would have been dead. Yep.
She believes Nunes saved both their lives.
Whatever he carries or whatever, he had to stick it inside their wound to stop the bleeding. He told me he was a Marine, he was training that.
Nunes says that night at the Circle K, his training kicked in.
The right thing that should have been done was Keithley swallow his pride, take a step back, and if he wants to instruct his trainee, he can do so from a safe distance while I do work. Let me do work. Let me try my best.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office sees it differently, though.
When Nunes went over there and pushed him out of the way, he committed a violation of the law. That's against the law for him to do that.
Chief Deputy Patrick Clayton points to a Georgia code that specifically outlines it's a crime to willfully resist or obstruct any emergency medical technician.
He interfered with the service of an EMT. Somebody that had better training than he had, that was conducting an assessment, and he decided he wanted to play Superman.
Keithley's attorney, Jacques Hawk, tells the I-Team Nunes sees himself as some social media hero, interfering with Richmond County firefighters who were rendering aid in the past. Like Nunes, Keithley also has a military background. According to his personnel record, he was a military police officer in the Army. He also was an Augusta firefighter before working as a deputy, so he was a certified EMT. Were there ever any thoughts of charging Nunes criminally?
No. I mean, we looked at it, and basically what this was, we made the determination this was a dispute between two co-workers. Is basically what this boiled down to. It was appalling, but we felt like there was a joint culpability on both of their parts, and that's why we made the findings that we did.
Clayton does admit he wouldn't disagree if Keithley faced lesser charges.
Keithley, if he was going to be charged with any kind of crime, the only thing that we can see that he qualifies for would be simple battery.
Still, the Sheriff's Office's own Police and Procedures Manual names a flashlight as a possible deadly weapon. It also clearly states it may be considered deadly force if strikes are directed at the subject's head.
I'm not defending what he did, but he clanked him in the back of the head. He just clanked him. It was such a light hit that he actually had to ask him, "Did you just hit me?" If you look on the videotape, he says, "Did you just hit me?"
Dude, did you just see me with the flashlight, dude?
Then I felt the back of my head wet, like a sticky wet. And then that's when I reached back, and in one frame you can actually see in my glove, my light purple glove is now almost maroon. That's actually not the blood from the gunshot wound victim, that's the blood from scrubbing the back of my head.
Nunes went to the hospital that night. He got stitches and staples. There was an internal investigation where basically the sheriff's office investigated itself. The sheriff suspended Keithley but never charged him with a crime. But then the district attorney showed a grand jury the video, and that grand jury recommended charges. A second grand jury indicted Keithley on felony charges. He was arrested December 2nd, 2020, yet Sheriff Richard Roundtree allowed him to keep his job, putting him on leave with pay.
Yeah, I think that's disgusting.
The I-Team crunched the payroll numbers. So far, it's cost Richmond County taxpayers more than $137,000 for Keith Lee to sit at home, during which time he's been given not one, but 2 pay raises. Meanwhile, his post-certification is suspended, meaning he has no arrest powers in the state of Georgia. So technically, taxpayers are paying him to be a deputy when he can't even legally be a deputy.
The people deserve better. And I hope that they get better.
As for this body cam video, now you can finally see for yourself what happened that night and decide what you think happened. I did hope to interview Brandon Keithley for this story, but his attorney said that he could not because of pending litigation. As for where this case stands now, Columbia County District Attorney Bobby Christine is handling it because Augusta District Attorney Jared Williams said he had a conflict of interest. Keithley's attorney, however, believes former DA Natalie Payne has a conflict as well. For now, we are told that it is not on any court calendars yet.
Meredith Anderson reporting for us tonight. Meredith, thank you. Still to come, remembering former First Lady Rosalind Carter, how her mission continues to inspire others right here at home, next on News 12.
We are tracking our next big weather maker moving in tomorrow, bringing in some rainfall for us for Tuesday and portions of Wednesday. Stick around to hear those details.
Time and watch WRDW News at 5:30 weekdays for What the Tech. Sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School, leading the CSRA in STEM education.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
Hey, Jill, what's the matter?
Man, this name change is stressing me out.
Everyone will know we still specialize in Medicare.
Yeah, I know that, but what about this?
Are you 64.com?
We are live tonight at Evans Town Center Park. All of their holiday displays are lit up, as you can tell. They have the lights on. The big Christmas tree has not been lit yet, but everything else is holiday ready.
It looks great out there tonight. This official tree lighting ceremony happens on the 3rd, right around 6:15. But if you're out and about tonight, don't forget to swing by Evans on Ice. Check out the beautiful light display. And Mikkel was saying better tonight than tomorrow night.
And tell us why, Mikkel.
Definitely better tonight than tomorrow night. We are expecting rainfall to move in for your Tuesday. Definitely could last in the portions of Tuesday evening dairy system to finish off the work week. But the weekend looks pretty good, and those temperatures do stay below average.
All right, thanks, Mikkel. The legacy of former First Lady Rosalind Carter lives on. Still to come, we show you her impact on mental health here in the CSRA.
Former First Lady Rosalind Carter died Sunday at her home in Plains with family by her side in the house President Carter built.
She was 96, and during her lifetime, she became a pillar for women's rights, humanitarian efforts, and mental health reform. Audrey Dickerber shows us how her mission inspired advocates here at home.
Me sitting here and seeing that the pioneers before me were, paving the way is awesome, and we want to continue to do that.
Charlie Willis owns a counseling center. She says everyone should be advocates just like Rosalind was, and that she is part of the reason why they do what they do today.
Mental health awareness is so important, especially for our friends and our loved ones, because it's a silent killer. People won't speak up when they're hurting, when they have anxiety or depression, or they're ashamed at what they're going through. Our past, plays a lot of who we are today.
Even though there's more support today, getting help and checking on your loved ones is still just as important.
Stigma still exists because there's still some barriers that aren't being reached. Financial issues. People have all kind of things that keep them from getting help. Even their family, friends, just their surrounding areas.
Even if you think you don't need it, it doesn't hurt to get extra help.
If you go to the doctor for a physical checkup every year, and I go to a therapist for a mental checkup, because we want to be proactive and not reactive. We don't want to wait till something is wrong. We want to have preventive things in place to help us.
Audrey Dickerber, on your side.
The Georgia Family Crisis Solutions and Counseling Center offers therapy, counseling, and they host events to advocate for various mental illnesses.
And you can find out more at WRDW.com.
New in the last half hour, a Grovetown middle school teacher arrested for an alleged fraud incident is now out on bond. The Edgefield County Sheriff's Office says Kimberly Barnes had an outstanding warrant from 2022 for transaction card theft. They claim she made a purchase with a card she got from a teacher at Jet Middle School. In a letter sent home to parents from the Columbia County School District, they say the incident happened in another state.
Meanwhile, in Thompson, the name of the shooting victim who died yesterday after a shooting last week has been released. The county coroner says it's 14-year-old Jonathan Johnson. The GBI says he was shot on Anderson Avenue around 6:30 Tuesday night. Anyone with information about the case is asked to call their local authorities or the GBI.
It's been 3 years now since the death of 33-year-old Felicia Harris. She was found shot to death on Meadowlark Drive 2 years ago. Today, on November the 20th, deputies arrested a suspect, 30-year-old Tyrone Miller. He's charged with Harris's death. And today, he faced a judge in court for another bond hearing.
While she waits for justice, Hallie Turner says Felicia's mother continues to fight and be a voice for the trans community.
When it comes to her children, Clara Taylor no longer holds back the tears.
It's hard.
The mother of 8 has lost 3 of her children, 2 of those to gun violence.
I have 8 sons. I lost 3. The first being to a drive-by shooting. The next was a motorcycle accident, and then Felicia.
Instead of spending the week getting ready for the holidays, she's listening to a judge decide if her daughter's accused killer should be a free man.
I think it's very telling to what he could do out on bond if he's managed to stay in custody in Richmond County for the last 2 years without getting any charges, which is, as Your Honor is very well aware of, is a rare occurrence.
Deputies arrested Jerome Miller and charged him with killing 33-year-old Felicia Harris, who is a trans woman. The murder happened in Meadowbrook Park in Augusta in 2020. As of Monday, the state says he should remain behind bars.
Because the witness that she referenced, the girlfriend, I believe Jahanna Patterson, she mentions that Mr. Miller routinely uses burner cell phones and has a number of different phone numbers that he uses when he's doing some of these things, that she doesn't know him specifically to be into men or to transgender, but she knew him to be unfaithful.
While Taylor's fight continues on.
My fight is let everyone know that they have much right to make the decision of how they want to live their life.
As for Judge Heath says there are multiple key witnesses that may still have more information out there, and if he's released, he could intimidate them.
So until the state can nail them down, at the moment, Miller remains behind bars.
Also tonight, for the 32nd year in a row, families in need here in Augusta will be able to have a turkey and more on their table this Thanksgiving. This year, more than 200 people registered to come and get a turkey. Thanks to donations from Golden Harvest, they're getting an entire meal for the last time. It's going to be at the old arena before work begins on a new James Brown arena, something the Godfather of Soul started himself all those years ago.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
Are the holidays big at your house?
Good, because we're offering you some huge Black Friday discounts.
The more furniture you buy, the more you save.
Your guests would love a new mattress.
Everyone will admire your new sofa.
And your family will feast on your new dining room.
And all month long, save $100 when you spend $1,000. Save $200 when you spend $2,000.
The more you buy, the more you save. How cool is that?
Can you get huge Black Friday savings at Weinberger's Furniture?
Yes, you can.
Augusta's best luxury dealer, Jim Hudson, now brings you the best GM brand, Cadillac, the best of the best. Now open, Jim Hudson Cadillac on Washington Road. And right now, during the season's best sales event, get 2.9% financing plus $1,500 purchase allowance or payments from $379 a month. Cadillacs, over 60 available, 2.9% or $379 a month at Jim Hudson Cadillac on Washington Road.
Experience it once, and you'll never forget it.
Showing it accurate. Jonathan Hawk Insurance in the Law Pavilion Shopping Center on Washington Road.
Trust your health to Jonathan Hawk.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.